What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. We're breaking down our New York Jets 2024 undrafted free agent class, and we are diving into our first linebacker fitting the Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich mold perfectly. Jimmy Choo Choo Ciarlo, or maybe it's Ciarlo, out of Army. 6'2" and 225 pounds. He's a local New Jersey kid, made co-captain in 2023 for Army as part of a 4 or 5 captain squad, I guess you can call it. A former 2-star recruit. He put up an insane pro day for most of the people that I was able to follow, which earned him a local workout with the New York Jets, which ultimately earned him his undrafted free agent contract when he put 34 bench reps up, which would have been the second most at the combine if he was invited, but he didn't stop there. He also showed off some elite footwork with the 6'9", 3-cone drill, which would have ranked him inside the top 20 of all players overall in the combine. So you're already seeing some of the athletic, physical tools that he would bring to the position. But one of the things that caught my eye was that pretty early in the offseason process, we heard not only Joe Douglas comment on Jimmy Ciarlo, which he nicknamed Jimmy Choo Choo, but then you also have Brian Baldinger tweeting out some stuff related to Jimmy, and it just so happened to work out that they ended up on our roster. So Joe Douglas specifically mentioned, look at this guy, really good feet, sudden, all motor, flying around the field and can run. And you watch a little tape and you say this guy can play. Undersized linebacker, kind of what we like. He plays fast. He plays furious. I like his speed. He has some ability in space. He can help out on special teams, and he's an Army guy. We know between co-captain and him just literally being a presence in that Army football team, there's going to be a level of discipline. There's going to be a level of respect, character building, all of the aspects from a quintessential, prospect for anything related off the field. And Jimmy fits that mold. So he definitely has a pretty strong shot. We did give him $110,000 in guarantees during this offseason as well. He also really fits into what Robert Saleh has already kind of established as, if he can't get a linebacker he truly loves in that undersized role, and with a particular, floor in terms of skill set he's bringing, he'll go out and grab a safety that he can develop. And Jimmy Ciarlo could be the Jamien Sherwood, the next Jamien Sherwood developmental project. He did start off his college career playing safety, in general, just DB, before switching to linebacker. He also has impressed on special teams coverage, so that's where you're going to see his special teams ability also come into play. And then when you want to talk about, again, more of that character stuff, he won his team's Black Lion Award, which is given out for leadership, courage, devotion, and selfless service. Diving back into what Brian Baldinger was mentioning when he was kind of running through some tape, he said there's something about Jimmy Ciarlo. I say this kid needs a chance, rock solid, strong as hell, competitive as can be, and I didn't really get enough quality games to be able to jump in and give a true breakdown of what's happening with this particular guy. But there's got to be something to the fact that Joe Douglas and Baldinger seem to be fairly high on a undrafted free agent. The guarantees that we're giving him, he fits everything else that we're going to ask for. And you'd imagine that the Jets, with their history of what they've shown so far, at least for this defensive staff, you feel really good about him being the next guy that essentially comes out of nowhere and ends up working himself into a prominent role in this Jets defense. If nothing else, I do like the insurance plan of having another option to Jamien Sherwood. You could always say there's too many cooks in the kitchen, but at this point, I think it's clear the Jets want to ensure they continue to have a pipeline in the linebacker unit. I thought we would have been set. When you think about Quincy, you think about CJ, you think about Jamien Sherwood, who I broke down at the time ended up being an adequate replacement. Then you think about one of the other players that was highly talked about in Shabazz. I think that's the name, the correct name I'm thinking about. Either way, there's a number of players that the Jets have felt really, really good about. And then you even think about some of our additions from last year. Claudin Cherlis, I believe, was a guy that we stashed on the practice squad that is still on the team in terms of being an undrafted free agent. So there's some rollover there as well that Chad Surratt, not Shabazz. Chad Surratt is the name I was thinking of. But there's some rollover there, so you feel really, really good about, if Ciarlo does make the team over one of those two guys, either they didn't develop or this guy may be somewhat of the real deal. Nonetheless, I love the continuous competition at the bottom of this roster that we're churning out, especially with the amount of special teams focus that it seems like we're getting with a lot of these guys, to kind of make sure that we give our best shot at these new kickoff rules and we're not really stuck with just one type of player. So either way, nonetheless, if you guys are a little bit more familiar with Jimmy, let me know. Otherwise, I would just say keep an eye out for him if his name starts to rise or you hear a lot about him coming out of OTAs. It's not completely unexpected. So we'll see how that works out for us. But nonetheless, appreciate you guys. I'll catch you again. Peace.